Patrick Diamond. I'm Senior Lecturer in Public Policy at Queen Mary University of London. So I'm one of the teaching staff who is responsible for delivering many of our public policy programs, public policy modules. Obviously, I'm going to talk today about all of our offer across both public policy and also international relations. So what this presentation does is it gives you a sense of the key programs that we offer, the kind of structures that we use in the school to deliver those programs, and the kind of access that you'll get to teaching staff. And it just gives you a sense of how things would work if you were to come and join us at Queen Mary on the Masters programme. As Alex said, we're very happy, obviously, at the end to take any questions that you might have. So if you've got any questions either about the process of applying, or questions about the content of the course, or questions about how things will work if you come here, then obviously we'd be very pleased to answer those at the end of the presentation. Okay, so I'm just going to click through and go through a few points with you just to introduce, as I say, the offer which we have at Queen Mary. So we offer four major master's programs through the School of Politics and International Relations. We offer an MA and MRes in International Relations. We offer an MSc and MRes in Public Policy. We offer an MSc in International Business and Politics, and we offer an MSc in International Public Policy. All of those programs are available both as full and part-time options. So if you come to us full-time, you'll study over the course of 1 year, one academic year. If you come part-time, then your teaching and learning will be split over 2 years. And in effect, you'll do half of what you would do on a full-time course over 2 years. That's how things will work. I'll talk a little bit in a moment about some of the more specific module choices that you will be able to access if you were to undertake one of these master's programs. Obviously, the MA, MRes in International Relations is a master's level course that deals with major theories and issues in international relations. The MSc and MRes in Public Policy is an introduction to major issues, themes, concepts, theories of public policy. And it's both a theoretical introduction, but also gives you a sense of some of the practicalities of how policy is made within policymaking organisations and institutions. We offer then the MSc in International Business, which is obviously more focused on people who want to undertake careers in the international business community, in the private sector. Again, you have an introduction there to some of the key theoretical issues, but also practical issues around how business and the private sector operate, public management, human resource management, finance, how all that side of business works. And then finally, we offer the MSc in International Public Policy. Here, the concepts and approaches are quite similar to the public policy course, but obviously we focus on the international dimension of public policy. So particularly interested in issues around the international governance of public policy, global governance, how international institutions work, the effect of geopolitics on public policy, issues around development in emerging market countries, and so on and so on. So an enormous range of different issues covered within these four programs. Just moving on then, obviously if you were to be a student on one of these programs, you would be able to access a wide variety of different modules which we offer through both the School of Politics and International Relations, and also we offer in conjunction with other schools that we work closely with at Queen Mary, including, for example, the Business School, the School of Economics, which enables us to offer students what we hope you'll find is a really rich menu of different module options. Some of these modules are compulsory. So for example, if you were to study the MSc in Public Policy, you would be required to study a module in Theories and Concepts of Policy Making, and you would also study a module which deals with the evaluation and delivery of public policy. In addition to that, you'll be able to make 2 other optional choices of modules that you were particularly interested in studying. Likewise, if you were to do the MA in International Relations, you would do a compulsory module in Contemporary World Politics, Theories, Concepts and Themes, and there are other compulsory modules attached to each of the 4 programs. But the point to emphasize here is that yes, there'll be some compulsory modules, but you also have the opportunity to choose and select from module courses that you are really interested in, that you want to focus on during your time of doing master's study. Okay, so moving on and just trying to give you a sense of how things will actually work, I just want to briefly discuss how the process of studying at Queen Mary operates in our School of Politics. The major delivery of teaching comes through lectures and seminars. So on the average module that you study as part of your master's program, you'll have 2 hours of contact time each week for each module. And that predominantly involves a lecture of around an hour, where you'll be given an overview of a particular topic. You'll be given a structured introduction to the core issues and themes and theories that underpin that topic. And then for the following hour, you'll have a seminar where there'll be an opportunity to interchange with students and the academic staff, obviously for you to ask questions, but also to engage in debates around the key issues and concepts that we've been discussing. So, you know, these are kind of 2-hour blocks of teaching, which give you lots of opportunity both to interface with teaching staff, but also to obviously work with your fellow students. I would say that one of the big advantages that we have at Queen Mary is that we have a very diverse student body. We have students coming to us from all over the world, and the students that come to us from the UK are also generally from diverse backgrounds. And this really helps, I think, to provide an invigorating teaching and learning experience. You get to learn both from the academic staff, but also from your fellow students. As I said at the beginning, I teach predominantly public policy in the school, and we are very fortunate that we have students coming to us from all around the world who have significant experience of working in public policy institutions in different environments in different countries, and they bring that experience with them. They bring it into the seminar room, and as I say, it makes for a really invigorating and rich discussion. So in addition to lectures and seminars, obviously there's also independent study. At master's level, I would say one of the key differences with undergraduate study is that obviously you are expected to engage independently. By independently, I mean a lot of the reading and preparation, a lot of the reading of materials and so on that you'll do will be done by you on your own in preparation for seminars and lectures. So there's a big emphasis on independent study. This becomes particularly important in the second half of the course, where you undertake study through a dissertation. This is a 12,000 word dissertation that you will write. You'll be given supervision by a member of academic staff, and you will have a number of meetings with that member of staff to guide you through the process of writing the dissertation. But obviously the emphasis is on you becoming a more effective independent learner, being able to identify the right kind of material, engage with that material, as I say, working with a member of academic staff, but also working independently. We have a very useful collection of online learning materials. We have an online learning portal called QM+, which is a virtual learning platform. And this is the platform on which all of the key readings, the materials that you'll need for each of your modules will be located. We use QM+ to post all of the academic articles that you'll need for your courses. We also use it to put up relevant material, articles, sometimes newspaper articles, clips from documentaries or other kinds of television programs that might be useful for you to see in order to augment your study. So obviously access to IT is important, and the QM+ portal is the kind of key platform through which you can access the material that you'll need for the teaching and learning process. I would, I think, like to say that our staff are always very open to students, and there is always opportunity to see staff if you have concerns about the teaching and learning process. All of our academic teaching staff at Queen Mary have regular weekly office hours. Generally speaking, each staff member has 2 hours a week where students can come and see them anytime they like, in order to discuss issues that they might be having, in order to talk about particular assignments that they might be doing, or just to raise questions, perhaps relating to things that they haven't understood so far in the course. So there's definitely a number of opportunities beyond just a dissertation for you to have one-to-one meetings with academic staff and to get feedback and to engage in other kinds of academic discussion. As I said already, really, in the case of independent study, you also have a dissertation supervisor. So depending on the topic for the dissertation that you choose, you'll be allocated a single member of staff who will be there to guide you, to advise you, to meet you regularly, who'll give you the kind of support you need to make sure that you do well on the dissertation in the final section of the course. Just wanted to also mention briefly another opportunity that we have through Queen Mary, which is the opportunity to study for an MA in International Relations in Paris. Really, the offer here is that you study in Paris, which obviously is an enormous, fantastic opportunity to study in a city like Paris, but you will also gain a Queen Mary University of London degree. So you get, in a sense, the best of both worlds. You get to study in Paris, but you get a Queen Mary degree, which would be, I think, a great degree to have in terms of future careers, what you might go on to do around the field of international relations and so on. In terms of studying in Paris, this is undoubtedly one of our most popular programs. The teaching staff in Paris are all academics who are part of Queen Mary. So all the academics who teach on the IR program are members of staff who are attached to the School of Politics and International Relations at Queen Mary. The format and the delivery of teaching is in English. As I say, you get to obtain a UK degree, but studying in a major European capital city. And obviously this offers lots of other opportunities as well in terms of making connections with international organizations, as well as potentially being able to immerse yourself in French culture, French language, develop your language skills and so on. So that's a particular opportunity there if you're interested in studying IR. There is the opportunity to study for the MA in International Relations in Paris. And as I say, I think that's well worth thinking about as an opportunity. Just finally, let me say a couple of things about why study at Queen Mary. Obviously, for many of you, you'll be looking at different courses in different universities, perhaps around different parts of the UK, in other countries, perhaps just in London. So what is it about Queen Mary that offers you something different, something perhaps particularly appealing, something that other institutions don't necessarily provide to the same level? Well, I think the first thing to say is that the staff who teach in our programs are leading academics. Queen Mary is part of the Russell Group, which means that it's one of the leading research intensive institutions in the UK. Many of our staff are internationally recognised academics who are publishing, writing and teaching to a very high standard. So the quality of their research is reflected in the quality of the teaching experience that you get. Many of our staff are working at the cutting edge of their field, and hopefully this will feed through in terms of your experience of teaching. I'd also say that some of our staff have experience themselves of working in policy-making organisations. So if you're interested particularly in the public policy aspect, we have staff who are not just academically trained, but also have experience of working as policy practitioners. Excuse me. The learning environment at Queen Mary is also supportive. As I say, our staff are accessible. They are available to meet with you regularly. You should have no problem at all in being able to have contact with staff when you need it, and those staff will support you in the learning process. We also have, through the school, a number of regular high-profile events where we bring in external speakers from across the political and policy world. This year we've had lots of different speakers, including government ministers, members of parliament, people coming from policy-making organisations, NGOs. And of course, all of this is helpful to you as a student, both in terms of networking, but also in terms of broadening your horizons, getting the opportunity to discuss ideas with speakers from a wide range of backgrounds in policy-making and politics. And as I mentioned, yeah, already really, yes, the school is undoubtedly one of the best in the UK in terms of its published research work. It does very well in the Research Excellence Framework, which measures the quality of research across institutions in the UK. Just to complete that point, one of the vehicles that we use to make sure that our students have contact with policymakers in the real world of politics is the Mile End Institute. This is a policy-making research centre which is based at Queen Mary. It has connections to many different organisations, but also key individuals in British politics. We host a large number of events with speakers, which also provide myriad networking opportunities. In addition to that, we also recently launched our Centre for European Research. This centre has been specifically tasked with looking at the relationship between the UK and the EU in the aftermath of Brexit. Again, it will host a number of major events, seminars, conferences, which will give students the opportunity to network and also gain access to knowledge around European policymaking and politics, as opposed to just the UK-based issues. I think another advantage of Queen Mary is obviously where we're located. For those of you who don't know us, we're located around the Mile End area in East London, quite close to Canary Wharf, also close to some of the major redevelopment and regeneration of the East End of London, not that far away actually from the Olympic Park, of course. The area is very vibrant. It is an area where there's lots to do, obviously lots of interesting places to go, a lot of culture and so on. So it's a great environment in which to study. And you can see a few quotes there from other students who have been recently studying with us. In terms of careers, obviously if you're doing a master's degree, you're making a significant investment in your future career. And you want to know that you're going to get good career opportunities at the end of it. I can say that in terms of the destinations of our graduates, they go on to work in a very large number of different organisations, both in the private and public sector, NGOs, major organisations like Oxfam, also public sector organisations, different boroughs in London, big consultancies like Ernst & Young. So, you know, a wide variety of different organisations that people go on to work in once they've graduated in their master's degree from Queen Mary. There are also opportunities to learn more about careers. We have careers consultants who are supporting our master's students with career planning, advising them on applications. We also have a large number of career events over the course of the academic year where you can have the opportunity to meet and mix with different employers. And there's also the opportunity to work with our career service for 2 years after you graduate. So you'll be supported once you've done your master's, not just during the master's program itself. Finally, in terms of admissions, the general requirement that we have for students to be admitted to a master's degree is that they have gained a 2-1 or above at undergraduate level in politics or a related discipline. I should say that in public policy, we do admit students from a very wide variety of disciplinary backgrounds. We have students coming to us who may have degrees in the natural sciences or in fields like engineering. Obviously, this is to be welcomed in the sense that people with these backgrounds are perfectly capable of studying these courses. But if you do have a degree subject which is slightly unusual, then you might want to discuss with us just to make sure that you know what's required in terms of doing a program like politics or international relations or public policy that's somewhat different to what you may have studied previously. There are also some English language requirements. Again, we can talk to you about those if that's a relevant concern. Obviously, we do want to make sure that all students who come to us have the necessary language qualifications. There is an online application process. You can apply online using the Queen Mary portal. Again, if you have any specific queries about that, the office can obviously help you if you have any questions or concerns. That's all I want to say. I appreciate you listening. If you do have questions, obviously very happy to take those in the discussion afterwards. What I've put up there is just some contact details. If you did have any further questions about any of the issues that I've discussed in this presentation, then I'd be very happy to answer them. So thanks for your attention. Thank you for listening. And as I say, if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask, or if you have questions that you don't necessarily want to ask now, obviously we'd be happy to take them. Please just contact us at the addresses which are listed on the page. Thank you very much.